It's been fun. It's been great. It's been 3 months and I'm finishing out my project 333. What is up, y'all? Thanks for clicking on this video. You have officially entered the Skis Life. Today we're going to talk about project 333. It's been 3 months and I am officially closing out this experiment or this challenge or whatever you want to call it. I've enjoyed it. I've learned from it. I've grown quite a bit, and I'm really glad that I did. I'm really glad that I was able to do this project, and experience all of this. You saw my first intro videos, my 6-week video, and now this, and I just wanted to share my final thoughts as I round out this whole experiment, share with you some final pros and cons, and what I've learned. Real quick, if you haven't, while you're here, go ahead and click that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell. This may be my last Project 333 video, but it's not this an end to the Skis Life by any means. Alright, so what are some of the things that I've learned? Beyond the pros and cons that I listed in my midway point video, there are a lot more. Like I had mentioned that one of the pros is that laundry is not as tedious, but one of the cons for that, one of the things that balances that out, is that laundry has to be done more often. I feel like with anything and everything we do, there's always going to be a balance. There are always going to be pros. There are always going to be cons. There has to be a balance because that's what nature requires, right? All right, so let's talk about that balance. Let's talk about some pros and cons. One of the pros, and this goes to one of the actual points of this whole process, of this whole experiment, of this whole challenge, is that dressing isn't nearly as stressful, right? Remember what I said, when we wake up, we make a series of initial decisions. First thing in the morning or first thing after we wake up, whatever time of the day you get up, and one of those decisions are, what am I going to wear today? Am I going to have a good day? So, not being stressed out while making those first decisions allows us to decide, or allows me anyway, allows me to decide that I'm going to have a good day because I don't have to worry about what I'm going to wear. I have literally a handful of items to choose from, and it's very simple, right? One of the points that I have seen made by stylists, by minimalists, by any number of people, is that we tend to wear the same few things over and over and over again, and that is true. And this whole experience has really highlighted that point for me. Even though my wardrobe was narrowed down to 33 items, I still wore the same things over and over again. And there were a few things in my in my very limited closet that I wore seldomly. One of them being this skirt right here. I may have had this counted as one of my 33 items, but I wore this maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the whole process. But instead, I did wear this shirt quite a bit. I did wear my jeans over and over again. And a lot of my clothes right now are in the laundry. To those 2 pros, we balance those out with some of the cons. My biggest con is that one of the pros about this is that we don't shop as much. We don't have things in the closet that maybe we've spent money on, that we feel guilty about not wearing, that sort of thing. And while shopping is something that I really personally don't enjoy all that much, this process made shopping much worse, much more stressful than it should have been. Not only do I loathe shopping, but during this process, when I had to shop, it made the process of buying clothes very stressful. You remember that job interview that I told you that I had? And I didn't have anything I could wear, not even in the clothes that I had stored away, anything I could wear to a job interview, so I had to go shopping for it. And that made that whole process very stressful, much more stressful than it ever should have been. And that is not something I enjoyed. Another con goes back to the laundry. Remember when I told you that, yeah, laundry is not nearly as tedious, but it has to be done more often? One of the things to add on to that is that my clothes started to wear out much, much quicker than they should have. So there's that. Another thing that I learned beyond my pros and cons and beyond the balance is that timing is everything. Okay? So there are two timing factors that contributed to my experience overall for Project 333, and they did not contribute in a positive way. So one of the things is that, as many of you know, I am right now still in the process of losing weight. In January of 2018, January of this year, I weighed 205 pounds. Today, I'm down to my 150s. I'm still losing weight, which means I'm still losing inches, and having a very limited number of items in my items of clothes in my closet puts a very tight restriction on the sizes of clothes that I have. So I have, and I pointed this out in my 6-week video, was that I had kept various clothes of varying sizes because I was still losing weight. Well, having just 33 items in my closet really made that harder than it should have been. So I was wearing jeans and shirts and clothes that were sometimes 1 and 2 and 3 sizes too big, because I would rather have done that than go through the process of changing out the clothes in my closet again, which I did not. It was another thing I found out that I did not enjoy doing. The other thing that contributed to this, timing being a factor, is that I really should have started this either earlier in the year or waited till the change of season. This is North Carolina, y'all. We're in Raleigh, and we just went through a change in seasons. It was really warm and really humid, and then we had a drop in temperatures. And then we went through a couple of weeks where it was cold and cool and frigid, and our heat kicked on. And I really just wanted to wear my sweaters and my sweatpants, but I had packed those away because I didn't count them in my 33 items. Yes, I kept 2 shirts in my closet that were long sleeves, but that's not enough to keep someone like me who gets cold at the drop of 2 degrees. That's not enough to keep someone like me warm. So that was, I really should have started earlier so that I could complete my 3 months with just 1 set of clothes for like warmer temperatures, or I should have waited until the temperatures dropped and then just done this for 3 months with cold temperatures so I could have my sweaters, my hoodies, and everything out. What does all of that boil down to? It boils down to a few lessons learned. Like, being a minimalist, talking about the lifestyle choices that Scott and I make, that's one thing. Fully expressing those so that you understand it is a completely different thing. So I can talk about this whole experience for myself and what I learned. But there are some things that I experienced and learned throughout this entire process that I'm not entirely sure how to convey to you. Like, there are certain things that I learned about myself, about my habits. There are certain new habits that I picked up that I'm not really sure I can describe. It's just one of those things that you just kind of have to experience on your own. And these certainly are not things that I learned from watching other YouTubers do these videos. These videos on YouTube that other people have made are awesome. They are fantastic, and I've loved watching them. But there are certain things that I've learned and that I've picked up and that I've noticed and realized that can only be fully understood by doing this, having completed this project myself. So I'm very glad that I did this. I'm very glad that I experienced this. I'm glad that I got around to it. I'm happy with the end result. Am I going to continue with Project 333, just keeping 33 items in my closet and then switching out my closet every 3 months? No. No. I'm sorry. I am happy with the end result. I am happy with what I learned. I am happy with what I experienced. But I will not be continuing the keeping of 33 items in my closet. I'm not going to keep doing that. I don't regret having done this. I've learned a lot about myself, about our lifestyle. From this, I've had a couple of great epiphanies that have worked for us. And in the end, much of what this experiment is designed to achieve is achieved. You know, fewer items of clothes in our closet leads to less chaos, leads to less stress. For me, anyway, it has led to less stress. Keeping fewer items in my closet has meant that I don't have a lot of laundry to do when I'm really not feeling like I'm doing it or feeling like doing it. The whole suggestion of creating uniforms for certain tasks so that we can keep just 33 items in our closet, that I realized early on that that's something that just kind of happens, not so much as something, you know, a suggestion for me to consciously do. That's something that I just did anyway. So a lot of what this challenge is designed to achieve a lot of what this challenge is designed to teach or to achieve or to whatever, it works. It does come out. It was designed very well by Courtney Carver. This project has worked well for me, but I will not be continuing 33 items for 3 months. I like my schedule of clothing rotations that I have for when seasons change, and this will interfere in that. I like having more items in my closet so that, yeah, even though laundry is tedious, I don't want to have to do it every other day. Okay? A lot of what I learned and achieved, I will be applying to my closet going forward. Just because I'm not restricting my closet to 33 items doesn't mean that I'm just kicking this whole experiment out and not learning anything from it. I am going to continue restricting the number of items in my closet to just what I need. Now, here's the thing about that. Before I started this whole process, this whole project 333, I really thought I was already doing that I was already doing a good job of just keeping in my closet the things that I need. But this taught me that I was actually doing a pretty horrible job, and it taught me how horrible of a job I was doing in that whole area. So that is a lesson learned that I will be applying going forward. I'm not going to just go through all of the clothes that I stored away and just pile everything back in here. What I have in here is like I've added in my sweaters and my long sleeve shirts, and I have several items that I've still yet to take out. I'm still in the process of switching my warmer weather clothes out for my cooler weather clothes, because we're still having warm weather days. Like I said, this is North Carolina. We'll have a mix for a little while before it actually gets cold and frigid and stays cold. So this is a process that I've honed throughout my lifespan, and I like my process. So as I continue this, I will still be restricting the number of clothes in my closet. I just not to 33 items. I can't, and I'm not going to. Just having 33 items, keeping that low of a number, like I said, made the buying of a new suit for a job interview very, very stressful. It makes me have to do laundry every other day, which I don't enjoy. I feel like I can apply several of the lessons that I've learned, several of the things that I picked up, and all of my experiences in a different way that suits us, that suits me, on a more personal level and in greater detail. So there's that. So make of that what you will. And I'm going to go ahead and finish out my project, my experience with Project 333, and this video right here. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't, go ahead and click subscribe and ring that notifications bell, and we'll see you for our next video. Bye guys.